Hi everybody, my name is Stephanie and I am the blogger behind Brighter Darling, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my braces story. A lot of you may have been following me on the blog over the last 2 years, but this is my very last post and I figured I would do a little video to kind of tell the story of what happened to me and why I decided to do braces and how the whole entire experience went. So it started back 2 years ago. I believe it was November when I first got my lower braces on, and I started with metal. And the reason for that was because at my consultation I was hoping for Invisalign, but because of the narrowness of my mouth and the extreme crossbite that I had in the back of my molars, it wasn't going to work as well, and I would probably have been in Invisalign for a very long time, more than 2 years, probably closer to 5, and maybe even never see the results that I wanted. So in order to really move the teeth faster and the way they're supposed to be, my best bet, especially as an adult, was to go with the traditional metal braces. A lot of you have asked why I didn't choose ceramic, and ceramic is more aesthetically easy to deal with. However, they dye and they change colors from food very easily, and I'm someone who drinks coffee every day, and I just didn't want to deal with like that yellow color of the ceramic braces. Some people don't have a problem with it, and it doesn't even happen to them, but I just didn't want to risk it, so I said I will go with the regular metal braces and get this done as fast as possible. Something else about the ceramic braces I had heard was that they aren't as strong as metal, so although they were stronger than Invisalign, they were not as strong as metal. And I was just like, screw it, if I'm doing this, I'm doing it as fast as I can, so I'm gonna go with the metal. So I had the bottom metal braces on for about 3 weeks before they applied my top set of metal braces. And at that point, my doctor had told me that it would be about 12 to 18 months total for my treatment. Now, as you all know, braces never go according to plan, so it did not take me 12 to 18 months. It took a little longer than that, but I'll get into that later. So, alright, so I had my metal braces on. Things were really progressing. As you can look back in my photos, everything was just moving along and I was feeling great. Those first 6 months are really inspiring. You're going to feel so awesome that you see your teeth shifting so quickly, that it will compensate for those rough times you're having when you feel not yourself, you don't feel as attractive, or whatever the case may be. You'll be compensated by the fact that you look at a picture of yourself and you're going to see your teeth are changing. And for me, I especially noticed that my enunciation was changing. I have always been someone with a little bit of an issue with pronunciating certain consonants ever since I was little, and it's been a very conscious effort for me to always work on that, and no one's really known that about me. So I've noticed that with my braces, I no longer have those issues because the bite is closing the way it's supposed to, which then allows me to speak clearly without thinking about it. So, okay, had my braces on, 6 months was going by, I was starting to get antsy because I knew I had to get rubber bands on. Rubber bands are what really was going to help correct my crossbite. And my dentist at the time, or orthodontist, just wasn't seeing enough progress, and he just kept saying maybe next month, and as a lot of you know from the blog, I was not in the boat to be wasting time because we were living in Houston where I was initially getting my treatment, but I knew I was moving back to the Northeast and I only had so much time with this orthodontist. So he then, at that point, I had just thought to myself, after a few months, honestly it was probably 3 or 4 months, he kept saying maybe next month, and I went to my husband, who's a dentist that works alongside this orthodontist, and I said, I think I need to see the other orthodontist in the office and get a second opinion because I wasn't happy with the way things were progressing. So as uncomfortable as that transition was, it was just in my best interest, and I always say I encourage you guys to own your healthcare and, keep your options open and be honest with your doctor every time you go and ask as many questions as you feel you need to be confident that you're in the best hands you can be. So for me, switched orthodontists, and very quickly the orthodontist put a device in my mouth to try to expand my crossbite a little bit to quicken things up. And of course he had a different way of doing things, which is important to note that there's more than one way to skin a cat, and every orthodontist that you might talk to might give us different suggestion on how to correct your bite, and that doesn't mean either one is right or wrong, it's just different techniques. So his technique was to stick a couple expanders in my mouth, see how that would work. For me, it didn't really work very well because I am an adult, my bones are already solidified, and that was just the risk taken when you are an adult doing orthodontic treatment. Is you're not a kid anymore, things aren't as easy to move around, and you gotta just accept the best you kind of can get within the time frame you would like to be doing this. So after about 3 more months of dealing with the appliance in my mouth, we finally just pulled the plug on that, and at that point I was at about a year wearing metal, and I was done. Like, it was really affecting my confidence, especially because I have this beauty blog, and as horrible as it sounds, I'm pretty vain. I like to look my best, and although that's not everything, I know that people are more than what they look like, but for me, it's important that I feel confident, and I wasn't feeling not my most attractive, and I wanted to get out of the metal braces. And at that point, since I knew that the metal braces weren't really even going to have much more hope to fix my crossbite, I just wanted to just move to Invisalign if it was going to help tweak the last little bits of pieces that I had left to fix. So that's what we did, and I so wish I could have done Invisalign from the beginning, because Invisalign is so much more comfortable. The little bits of maybe adjustments you might have with the trays it being in your mouth are nothing compared to what people wearing brackets feel, and the irritation you get on your gums and on your mouth and inside your mouth, and the rubber bands, and just the food getting stuck. All of that doesn't happen with Invisalign, obviously, so Invisalign was a breeze, and I felt so much more confident. Like, immediately I was able to smile again, although I had to be reminded to do so because I was forgetting that I didn't have braces anymore. But it was really, I'm so glad I got to be in Invisalign after that first year. Now, I will tell you, I don't know if it was because of just the Invisalign or because I was so far to being done, you don't notice as much change with the Invisalign anymore, because the movements with Invisalign are so much more precise than with metal when you're getting your adjustments every month. So for those of you who maybe are just doing Invisalign, maybe you won't notice the changes as quickly as I noticed with metal, and those of you with metal might notice. So just a heads up, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it was just because I was towards the end, but I did notice that I wouldn't feel or see change until I did my blog photos, and I would say, oh wow, they are changing, I just didn't notice it with Invisalign. The one thing about Invisalign that you probably hear a lot is the compliance issue, and I will totally agree. I'm somebody who snacks all day long, and taking the Invisalign in and out and in and out is a pain in the butt. And if you're someone like me who snacks a lot, it's going to be really difficult for you, and you have to realize that that might sacrifice the timing of your success with your braces. If you're taking off your Invisalign to have a snack every 15 minutes to an hour, like I do, you're not going to have progress as quickly. So you really have to be compliant with your trays, or you can't blame the dentist or the orthodontist that's helping you. So yeah, did the best I could, and did Invisalign for about 3.5 months. When that set of 10 trays that I had was completed, I knew that things really weren't done yet. And what I had noticed and shared with you all on my blog was that my lower teeth had kind of a slant. And although things were aligned, like my line of my bite was aligned, the bottom teeth were kind of on a slant, and this is directly related to the crossbite not being 100% fixed. So I just was curious if that was at all possible to be fixed. If it wasn't, I was okay. Aesthetically, everything's straight, and I talk more clearly, so I didn't mind, but I was just curious. So the orthodontist then said he will do another impression and see if there's any way that we can fix that slant slightly. And with that came another 10 trays. So now I was at 20 Invisalign trays total after the year of metal, which is approximately 6 to 8 months, depending how quickly you switch out your trays. And for me, I was doing it about every 10 days. So I got another 10 trays, and I finished those up about 2 weeks ago, right before my birthday, which was July 20th. So on my birthday, I got to go to the dentist and take off all my buttons and now I'm just waiting for my retainer, which should be in any day now. But in the meantime, I'm using that last Invisalign tray as a retainer. And I still have a little bit of a slant. It's not perfect, but like I said, everything is straight. My top, the line in the middle aligns with the line on the bottom. And that to me was a big thing, is to have that symmetry. The slant is never really going to go away unless I had some kind of orthodontic surgery of some sort to really fix that. But I have to say overall, I'm much more happy. I know that when I first started braces, my two teeth here, like the ones next to your big ones in the front, flared out like this to the side, and then it caused everything to be a little more narrow. And while I will always have a narrow bite, it's just my bone structure, I don't feel like my teeth are going inwards and flaring out. So from the side, you don't see like teeth jutting out from the side. And my bottom, although when I smile, nobody ever saw my bottom teeth. My bottom teeth are now completely straight, and I don't have crooked teeth, and some set back and some set forward. Everything is aligned. And braces can be a big, big shock to your self-esteem. To that, I say it is so temporary. It will pass. I swear, coming from firsthand experience, no one's gonna understand that level of vanity more than a beauty blogger would. And I promise you, looking back now, I feel like that was such a blip on the radar. It feels like 3 to 6 months went by instead of a whole year plus. And I just really learned how to make the best of it. My tips, I have a whole blog post on, makeup and beauty tips while you're wearing your braces, but the biggest thing I noticed was to not be afraid to wear bright colored lipsticks. Honestly, it looked better with wearing color than it did wearing nude lipsticks. Also, smiling with your mouth closed to the side so you can see more of the smirk does help than looking straight on, because you can look a little miserable. And just knowing that it's temporary, like having fun with it, and don't be afraid to try colored rubber bands. I know for the longest time I just picked silver, but a couple times I did use navy and like a blue like this color, like a robin's egg blue, and that was surprisingly great because it made my teeth look a lot whiter. So don't be afraid to put what else? Oh, my routine. So I shared with you very early on what I was using to keep my teeth clean and the products I was using to brush my teeth and mouthwash and all that stuff, and it's still the same. Like, I still am using my Colgate Optic White Whitening Toothpaste. I still use my Listerine Total Care stain removing mouthwash, which takes an adjustment period. It's got a lot of peroxide, but it's kept my teeth really white. I had no staining. I didn't have to get my teeth whitened or bleached at all after braces nor the Invisalign. And my husband, who's a dentist, says based on my skin color going up, yeah, you can use some white strips if you'd like, but my color of my teeth is normal and not yellow. So I highly recommend using whitening products. I know some dentists and orthodontists say, oh no, don't do that, you'll have issues later. I had none, so take that for what it's worth. And all in all, the treatment period was about 18 months total. So he said 12 to 18 months. There was some waiting for me for my Invisalign trays to come in, and that added a couple months. But when I take out that waiting and I just factor in the time wearing the Invisalign trays and wearing my metal braces, it's 18 months. It was 18 months almost to the week. So, and I want to thank you all so very much for the endless amount of emails I've gotten about the braces. I never wanted to share the braces story on the blog, and my best friend from childhood told me, you really should. There's going to be women and men and teens out there who want to hear your story. So I'm glad I took her advice and did that, because the amount of support and encouragement I got from all of you who have reached out was very helpful for me to continue these posts. And it's cool that I now have it all documented for 2 years. So yeah, I just want to thank you and know that you're going to be in the same place as me before you know it, where you're all done, and it's not even going to be something you remember until maybe one day you're grown and you have kids of your own and they have to get braces. So yeah, thank you all. I really appreciate it again, and keep me posted on your braces journey. Feel free to look back on my old posts, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thanks so much. Love you.